Okay, now we're going to make the little jig to bend the sides. Just taking a small vise and attaching it to the table. Now I'm going to put this scrap board in the vise. There we go. And this is an 1.5" floor flange. I'm going to set it right there so that it's high enough that the torch can sit on the table and still come through there. Now that 6" galvanized nipple will fit in there. It'll set on the board like that. And then our propane torch will be on the other side and put heat into that 6" nipple. Now this is just a crumpled up piece of aluminum foil that I'm going to put into one end of this so that it will act as a baffle and hold the heat in. So I'm just going to kind of mark where the hole needs to be so that it fits the torch. And then I'm going to take an 1.5" hole saw, and this will cut a hole the same size as the pipe. Okay, with our hole measured and cut, we need to attach the flange to the wood. And just use some small wood screws and center it over the hole. Now put this back in the vise. And put the 6" pipe back in. Doesn't have to be super tight or anything. You just kind of want to hand tighten it in. Make sure that you're secure in the vise because you are going to be putting some pressure on this. Let me turn the camera around so you can see what's going on here. I'm just going to light the torch with the striker. You don't need much of a flame. I'm just going to set that right in there so the pipe can start heating up. And be careful, the pipe will get very hot. It will burn you. Okay, before I start bending the sides, I'm going to get a little piece of string ready so that when the sides are bent, we can go ahead and get them attached on. And I'm also going to take the side and sort of use the string to measure where these first tight curves are. Basically, I'm just kind of finding the center points of those curves and measuring that out so I know where to put the curve in the side. And these sides have been soaking actually in a bathtub for 24 hours. Just put about 3 or 4 inches of water in there and let them soak. Keep a little bowl of water beside the jig so you can re-wet the wood if necessary. And once you're hot enough, we can start bending the sides. You just want to put a nice even pressure on here as the side starts warming up. It's actually more the steam from the moisture in the wood being heated that causes the wood to bend. If you start to see the wood crack or splinter, you're putting too much pressure and trying to bend it too fast. Just nice slow pressure is what you need. And if it seems like it doesn't want to bend, re-wet it so that you can actually add a little steam to the wood. And then adjust the temperature of the torch if you think it's a little too hot. If it starts burning the wood, you can turn it back down some. But you can see the wood does, it bends fairly easily. I'm just going to re-wet it a little more. Now this is the top of the, I guess what I would call the horn, where the top cutaway is. So it's a pretty sharp curve. I'm going to check it against the mold as I go along to see how much more of a curve I need to put into it. And now I'm going to start to put the little curve from the cutaway in there as well. Just remember, be patient, take it slow. Don't try to bend it all at once. And you'll know if you're going too fast. You'll see the wood start to splinter. And you'll even hear it start to kind of crack. That point, just stop and get the wood wet again and try it again slow. Yeah, I almost started to splinter there. So I'm just going to take it easy and let the wood warm up. Kind of just, I have to remember to let the steam do the work. And just keep going back and forth. Check your curves against the mold to make sure you're fitting. And then readjust them as you need them. Now I'm kind of going back over these a little as I've been working it. As you move along, your wood will kind of want to bounce back to where it was. And sometimes you may need to go back and sort of retrace your steps and steam those curves back into it. I'm going to adjust the camera and you can see how it's starting to fit to the mold. How we've got that little cutaway to fit inside there. We just need a little bit more through there. Now you can begin to see here at the end of the pipe how the aluminum foil is kind of glowing red. So be careful, don't touch the pipe. I don't want anybody to get burned out there. But that pipe does get pretty hot. again, those curves around the cutaway and that top horn, they're the tough ones. Sort of the waistline of the guitar and the lower curve, those are pretty simple once you get this part done. I'm just going to turn the torch down a little bit there. Now moving more into what I'm calling the waistline, that center curve. Again, I'm just going to sort of re-emphasize that top curve a little more so it doesn't stretch out on me. And I want to start working the large bottom curve of the guitar. This, I just kind of want to heat up the wood through that section there and just gradually bend it in. Okay, now we're ready to tie it onto the mold. Just make sure that everything's going to fit good. I'm going to make a little adjustment there on the bottom. let's see if it fits. And now you can see how I'm going to start wrapping the string around there, pulling that tight into the mold. Now you can use other materials. I've seen heavy duty rubber bands used. I think the string works pretty well. I want to go over and tie it onto that horn. Kind of make sure you're keeping the sides sort of square. And use those screws to sort of get a little tension on the string. And continue around the body. I'm just going to take a second to adjust the camera. I'm going to keep working. Then I'm going to keep working this around. Get it as tight on there as you can. Now I'm just kind of pressing the side against the mold there to make sure that we stay tight. Put a few more wraps around there, and then fasten up that end. Make sure it's all tight, and then tie everything off. while I do this, the next few stages of the guitar, we're going to move into making the arch tops. And that's a process that'll take a good couple of weeks. And I will leave these sides attached to the mold during that time. I mean, they'll probably be dry in 2 or 3 days, but there's no real hurry to get them off the mold, and the longer you leave them on there, the better.